3, 2, 1.
In commemoration of the largest rocket launch in the history of the Headhunter space program, go to greenmangaming.com. Because you haven't done it up to this point, might as well do it now. So, yeah, do that. Head down to the description below.
Just let me die! Just let me die! Let me die in peace! I'm perfect! I'm too perfect! This is what happens when you try to play God! Ah!
Okay. You're looking at these drive cones and thinking, how many are there? There are 85. There are 85 drive cones all in stage 1. This is the God Rocket! The God Rocket is the most powerful rocket I have. It is, well, it's comprised of a whole load of Eagle Heavies. Like, there are 4 Eagle Heavies on the outside, and in the middle, we have the Super Eagle, which is basically an Eagle Heavy, but with 2 additional boosters. All racking up to a total of 85 goddamn boosters. And of course, we have our main engine up here, which is the Rhino engine, which is the main vacuum engine. And then we have Odyssey 6, which is massive. Like, I mean really goddamn massive. This thing is just, my god, holy goddamn crap, it's huge. It is enormous. And, we're gonna launch this. Or die trying. I don't know who's gonna die. There's no one on board this launch. Thankfully, it's an unmanned launch. But we'll have to see where things go. We already have this hooked up for a lot, and I do mean a lot, of EVA struts. Because this thing is huge, and we need to be able to hold on to it when we're pulling some insane G's. I'm just adding a couple of little features here. The ladders are mainly so that we can grab onto this thing. Oh, and I managed to cram the Convertitron 125 in here, so it's inside of the fuel tank. Not the most ideal, but this is where we're at. The main engine for this ship, by the way, is a whole load of Wolfhound engines. I know what you're thinking. Should we not be using the LVN atomic rocket motor? No, we should not. Now, granted, the atomic rocket motor is beautiful, beautiful engine, but these drive cones, the Wolfhound engine, is actually more efficient than the Skiff or the Bobcat. And the Bobcat is the new engine on the Starshot rockets. It used to be, what is it? Was it the... No, it was a double cone. It was the Poodle. They were using the Poodle, but that proved to be way too inefficient, so now they use the Bobcat. At least I think they do. Either way, the Bobcat ended up giving us way more meters per second delta V, so it's a much more efficient engine. And the Wolfhound just beat out every single other engine. Like in a systematic competition where I loaded this thing up with every single different kind of engine, Wolfhound beat them all when it came to vacuum speed. And that's incredible. So we're gonna launch this. Let that sink in. We're gonna launch this entire thing. Oh, this is gonna be some lag. Alright, so miraculously the thing loaded and did not fall apart. Oh no. So this thing has some big wings on it, like real big wings on it, just to give it that extra bit of control, because it already looks ridiculous. I mean, look at that. To my astonishment, it is not swaying, which is amazing. So what we're gonna do is we're not even gonna see where exactly the craft is right now, because I'm afraid if I go into the, you know what, fuck it. I'm just afraid if I go into the map, this whole thing will fall apart. I don't trust it very much. No. Okay, it's behind us. So, basically what we can do is just, like, we're gonna launch now. That's a given. But, let's just do it. Okay, we're gonna get this thing to an altitude of 130 kilometers. Oh dear. Engage autopilot. And off we go. That's the engine starting up. Oh, that's the engine starting up. It's so wide, it's going off the side of the pad. And that would be all of the holders declamping. That's all the clamps coming off. That's the clamps. There are clamps inside, well, inline clamps with the interior structure of the rocket. Oh my god, it has lift. It's actually lifted. I think the sheer amount of engine plumes destroyed the goddamn pad. I don't know. Can anybody see down there? No, you cannot, because that is too much smoke. You need to flood the goddamn launch pad in order to launch this thing. So bit of information about the well, that happened. I think the smoke gave up. It's like, no, too many smoke particles. We get rid of a lot right now. This is not up for debate. So, bit of information about the God rocket. It was designed to be the be-all, end-all super lift. Just lift whatever the goddamn it I need into orbit. Because as of late, we've been needing to lift heavier and heavier stuff. The frickin' Eagle Heavy isn't cutting it anymore. Tying two Eagle Heavies together wasn't cutting it anymore. So, originally I came up with the upgraded variant of the Eagle Heavy, which was the Super Eagle, which was basically just the Eagle Heavy, but with 2 additional liquid boosters on the side. So instead of 2 boosters, it's 4 boosters. And they're separated by a couple of little struts that you can see in there. This also has to be separated by struts, just mostly for the bottom drive plumes. The way they stretch out at the bottom there. So we had to make sure that they weren't hitting each other, because this thing might sway apart during launch. So the Super Eagle wasn't powerful enough, So then I just decided to strap 4 Eagle Heavies to the exterior of that, and we call it the God Rocket. This thing launched a incredibly heavy payload into interstellar space during my first flight test. It was incredibly heavy. It was basically a mass relay with a tank filled with ore. The heaviest tank available filled with ore, and that crap is heavy. Launched it out of the solar system really fast too. Like it was already on an escape velocity, and we weren't even halfway through the last stage. So this thing is designed to carry the biggest possible payloads. That or whatever I need to launch out of the solar system. Even though the Eagle Heavy is probably capable of such a thing. If we were to just launch the frickin' rocket and just frickin' gun it through all of our boosters and everything, and just book it all the way out of the solar system, yeah, it might actually be able to do that. That or we perform a sun dive and dump all of our fuel there. Because at that point we are getting a fuckload of velocity. I don't make a habit of doing sun dives though, because that is such a waste of fuel. It really only works in very specific circumstances. Now, the most risky part of this operation is going to be separating 8 boosters. There's 8 boosters off to the side there, and then 4 boosters after that. Because these 8 boosters are the first to go. This is, for all intents and purposes, an asparagus-based launcher. And it's going to act as such. Miraculously, this thing hasn't shook apart yet, and it's actually getting aerodynamic effects. The vehicle has gone supersonic, I believe. It's in the process of breaking the sound barrier. Max Q came and went, I think. Not really, though. This is big. Anyway, quick word about the engine that we're launching. This is way bigger than what we had previously. This is basically the equivalent of the Super Eagle, except with Wolfhound engines and not the main. What are these? I think these are the Mastodon. Yeah, we're running on 85 Mastodons. This thing is going to be running on 25 Wolfhound engines. All fueled by a whopping 5 S4 512 fuel tanks, along with some S3, S4 adapter tanks, some ADTP 2-2-3 tanks, which are actually launching full, and some monopropellant tanks, which are also full, and some engine cluster adapters. Carbidine tanks are the largest tanks we have available, and we're going to need that fuel velocity in order to get this thing where we need it to go. And ironically, this engine isn't powerful enough to get us to every planet in the Kerbin system. I need to design an even more powerful engine, and that's going to take time, because I have no idea how I'm going to pull that off. Anyway, we got 5,000 meters per second of Delta V left, and we're coming up on staging, and when that happens, it's going to be painful to watch. Oh my god. Because there's not a lot of variation going on in where these things are going to be, like, jumping off of the rocket. It's gonna hurt. There are gonna be boosters slamming into boosters as they fall off of the rocket. However, this lag should go away eventually. Always good. I just didn't want to put too many parts on the main engine block because we're already running with a ton of parts as it is on the main ship. Alright, we're coming up on it here. Also, it's only been 1 minute in-game time, by the way. The video's been going for this stage of the video's been going for 10. That's the frame rate we're getting, by the way. It's a bad frame rate. Alright, we have engine burnout. And that would be the game attempting to activate the separators and the boosters. There are 5 separator engines on each of these boosters. Wow. What did we hit? What'd they hit? Oh god, oh god, oh god. And where do we stand? I'm not seeing drive plumes coming off of that bottom engine. What's going on? Holy crap. Are we still flying? Are we still flying? Are we still flying? Oh god. That was terrifying. There are boosters flying all over the place out there. Check our drive cores. I'll be goddamned, all 25 engines are still operational. That is incredible. And that was stage 1, the most terrifying stage. We need to work on that if we're going to have regular launches of this thing. And I'm thinking we're going to need it in order to launch the tanker. I'm still designing the tanker though, so you'll have to bear with me on that. It's probably just going to be a bunch of fuel tanks. Probably like stacked on top of one another. It's going to be really tall. This thing is already incredibly tall, though. Like, it almost breaks the ceiling of the vehicle assembly building, which is worrisome. Okay, we are getting flame effects on the upper stage, on the payload stage here, which means that this thing has effectively broken the sound barrier. Also, that's yellow. That's worrisome. I don't think it should be yellow, but it is. Alright, the next stage to go is going to be these engines, so let's keep an eye on the fuel gauge. The simple act of getting this thing into orbit is going to be a miracle. The fact that it hasn't fallen over yet is astounding. Just crashed straight into the ocean. So this thing is running a remote guidance unit as well as a number of radioisotope thermoelectric generators. There and there. And there are 8 of those, as well as some inline solar panels. And some other solar panels towards the top of the rocket, here, 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 and here. One on each of these. Beautiful. Beautiful. So let me just get into the math here real quick. These tanks here carry 2,800 liquid fuel, 3,500 oxidizer. These carry 23,000 fuel and 2,800 oxidizer. I'm trying to picture it in my head, a fuel tanker that can carry 3 of these tanks up to the ship, and at that point we only have to do 3 fuel trips at most. That could work, actually. That could work really well. If we could get a high enough fuel capacity, we'll only need to go up there and fuel it 3 times. Because chances are the God Rocket is going to be instrumental in getting this thing operational. It hasn't even broken atmosphere yet, so that's how much this lags. You thought the Singularity lagged the machine. No, God Rocket. We went from 30 drive cones to 85 drive cones, and that's amazing. Absolutely amazing. Another important thing to note is the engine's incredibly overpowered SAS system. Rather than one SAS advanced reaction wheel on the top and bottom, this thing has 2. And they're all at the bottom of each of these central cones. That's to keep it in line. Because this thing is by far going to be the heaviest part of the ship. The rest of the ship is basically just a great big giant, just a whip. Trust me, I did a lot of design work on these modules. Anyone on our any of the main people on our Discord, like our admin team, any admin on our Discord can tell you, yeah, no, he did a lot of fucking work on this. Alright, we're coming up on staging again. I know that's a scary concept, but we're coming up on it anyway! I don't know how it's gonna work, but it's coming anyway! Oh boy. This is terrifying, isn't it? Okay. Got 1 pixel of fuel left. Those engines are gonna burn out. Oh god, here it comes. There it is. Here we go. Don't hit anything, don't hit anything, don't hit anything. They did not hit anything! You'll notice they only have 1 separator engine consisting of 3 of those tiny motors. I figured that was all they needed, and it is. It's beautiful. Now there are more separator engines on this thing, if you can believe that. Because this thing is designed to carry stuff heavier than this into orbit. Yeah, it's designed to carry some crap even heavier than this. Though technically this thing isn't even fueled. We might be able to dump some of the fuel from the main drive into the engine if we have enough when we get there. That is, if we can dock this entire thing. Pardon me, I'm getting a call. Okay, so I was gone for quite a lot longer than I was expecting, so let's see if this thing actually ever gets out of Atmo. Oh no, it might not. It does, however, have quite a lot of fuel left, so we'll see where this goes, because with this, we're at the edge of atmosphere right now, and the frame rate has finally, mercifully, gotten better, which is a godsend. Oh shit, look at that. Now let's actually see if the rocket can control itself. Because this thing has RCS control all over it. All over it. Like, there's 4 on the top here. The main control is the actual engine section itself, because that has... Wait, did we double down it? We did double down on the RCS, on the SAS control systems, the reaction wheels there. And I think there's only one in the middle, which isn't bad, it's just weird. I don't know, can this thing control itself? It's using a ton of power to do it. Give it RCS control, even though that's gonna burn more. This thing has a ton of readily available RCS, mostly from, I believe it's center stage. No, it's still burning off these tanks, Jesus Christ. It's loaded to the gills with RCS. Our main concern right now is power. Because, let's face it, those 4 radioisotope thermoelectric generators aren't going to cut it. We need to perform as many maneuvers as we can in the daylight, where those big, huge, enormous, gigantor XL solar arrays will give us the power that we need. Alright, so it's going to drift over to its next node here. After that, it's going to have to burn for about 12 seconds. And then we should be good to go. We'll have an orbit. The sheer insane fact that this thing has achieved orbital velocity is a miracle. And the sheer fact it hasn't run out of power is also a miracle. But it's not frickin' going to town with those RCS thrusters. The thermoelectric generators actually do a pretty bang-up job of getting the power back up. For some reason, it's not taking anything out of the top. Alright, let's hope we time warp over to the day side of the planet here. Oh, shit. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we got daylight. Don't worry about that. Just worry about getting into orbit. Don't worry about nothing else. 7, 6, 5, okay, we're gonna burn now. I'm not gonna lie, this thing is scary. Mostly for the fact that it managed to make it this frickin' far. You're good, stop burning! This is fine. Disengage the damn autopilot. Activate SAS systems. Okay, and RCS. So you know what? Let's just take a... First things first, let's, quick save. And I will just take a shortcut here. There we go. Shortcut. It stopped spinning. Okay, so... This is the largest thing we've ever launched. Righto! The wings are still on it, which is concerning, but we're gonna give this a shot. Well, okay, the wings on it aren't really concerning, but they were supposed to, jettison at some point, and they didn't. I don't know why this is labeled as a rover, but it is. Alright. Here's what we're gonna need to do. What does this do again? Oh, it's like a map. I see it now. That's cool. Okay. Anyway, that's not why we're here. All right, we got the ascent guidance, and now we need rendezvous guidance. Rendezvous guidance. Engage. It's trying very hard to turn. Very, very hard. Too little avail. It's like, if one of these wheels breaks, we're screwed. Whew, boy. I'm wondering if we should give it the RCS. Yeah, why not? Give it the RCS now. We'll dump it all into the ship. Or at least whatever we need into the ship. I think my dog just fell down the stairs. Again. How's this looking? How much are we burning? That's another question. We've burned through about half the tank's worth. And this thing doesn't have a monopropellant reserve on the upper stage either. We need to be careful. The idea is we're going to attach the whole thing to the ship. Whether or not that is going to work or not, that's up to both of our spacecraft. Ideally, what we should do is take the HAB module, the laboratory, and the tool shed and just control that. Because this thing is too big. This thing is too big to perform any sort of docking procedures. Alright, easy on the propellant! God! Okay. Do you think you've burned enough? Alright, well, let's get this thing spinning around. Spinning around, Kerbin. And hopefully it'll be able to get into position for its next node before we go over to the dark side here. Stop! Stop! See, the engine's burning. You've lost your RCS privileges, mister. Because it feels the need to go over to the next node. This is hardly the most efficient method of getting to the damn thing either. There are better ways. And this is not them. Just trying not to burn too much fuel. We have those top tanks there. They're full. Which means really all we're fueling are this piece, and our bottom piece. We'll probably start by fueling the 3 central tanks with as much propellant as we can. I'm thinking we just take all 5 of these and dump our fuel into these 3 tanks. Then take the fuel in the top tank and deorbit using that fuel. Also whatever monopropellant we have left. Okay, look. This is gonna take all year, so why don't you guys go and let me edit this out. It's been 2 hours, but we finally have visual contact and we've used over half our fuel getting here. So much for loading it up. Like I thought I would. We have enough for maybe 1 tank. Enough to fill maybe 1 tank, and that's it. Even less so if this thing... Disengage the goddamn autopilot! Alright, here's what we're gonna do. These 2 craft are 100 meters apart, more or less. Hang on, I'm eating bread, because I got hungry waiting for this thing to spin around. I increased the max number of phasing orbits because I was getting impatient with it. Anyway, we don't have a lot of daylight left here, so let's get this thing spinning. Just a slow spin. Maybe up a bit. That is pushing it the right way, yeah? More or less. Once we spin it all the way around, we're gonna activate time acceleration. Then we'll switch over to the main ship. Because there is no way, no how we're docking this thing. Well, the good news is the docking port is facing us. Which is very good. God, this is bigger than the ship itself. It's too big. It's too massive. As you can see, even the spinning is taking a while. He's about halfway there, I think. Just thankfully, this is the last maneuver it has to make, because if it wasn't, I was going to lose it. Okay, good. We could access that relatively easily. It also looks like the arms are still secure onto the side of the ship. That's good, because if they weren't, I was going to kill somebody. That's it. Keep spinning, damn it. Never stop spinning. If we turn off the RCS, can we just... This is the right way, yeah. Yeah, it seems to be spinning a little bit faster now. Alright, come on. Come on, you're almost there. It has occurred to me that I have very little say in what this thing does. Like, if it wants to spin, then it will spin. But if it does not want to spin, there will be no spin. I love pasta. Yes, pasta. Pasta is my friend. You will respect pasta, or I will kill you. Okay. Almost there. We want this to be relatively close to, the goal is to just back into it. If we can pull that off, and we'll be good. Alright, almost. Let's use this like a fucking iron sight and just aim down until we can see the ship, and then activate time acceleration. Alright, hit it. Very good, okay. That'll cut its rotation. I will activate SAS to keep it stable. And then we're gonna use this ship, which is gonna have a boatload more control to dock with this thing. Okay. Not rendezvous. Docking. Autopilot enable. But stop the autopilot. The arms are not secure. Why not? Alright, first of all, disengage your arm, please. Activate time acceleration. When we get the engine attached, we're just gonna clamp them onto that. Alright, arm, please. Both arms. They seem to be secure, though. I'll tell you what, just release this one. Okay. And now we'll, We're gonna have to rotate this. Which we can't for some reason. Alright, now that's looking better. This is clearly locked in place somehow. Tell you what, I'm gonna hit F5 and we're gonna see what happens. Alright. Give it the autopilot. While that's doing that, I'm gonna... see if we can lock these down. It really doesn't look like we can. Torque limit is 100 on that. I'm gonna need you to force roll to a 45-degree angle. Alright. It's these goddamn things that are causing the problems now. Alright. If we just give it a bit of a target, then... maybe they'll stop complaining. Like, these two have a target. They're not giving us much of a problem. Is that what's messing us up? Is it that they have to have an angle? Or, like, they have to be doing something? Because if so, give that one 82. Give this one 39. So make that 59. 81. Make it 81. This is looking good. Keep it straight. Keep it straight. Jebediah will guide this in. Because right now, Jebediah is sitting... well, he's sitting towards the rear seat. He should be able to look back there and... hang on. Whoa, 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 whoa. What the fuck is going on? Stop! Stop! Disengage the autopilot! What are you doing? What are you doing besides pissing me off? You control it from there and engage the autopilot. Make sure you don't burn all our RCS. This is a huge meatball. And I'm gonna eat it. So, here's what's on the agenda. I'm gonna eat this meatball, and you're not gonna crash. Because if you crash, I'm gonna have a really hard time getting another engine up here. Oh my god. Oh my goodness. That is a good meatball. This thing's huge. It's like the size of a tennis ball. Like, Jesus Christ. Yes, they make meatballs this big. Oh. Take it easy here. Supposedly Hopefully those are locked in place, but I'm not entirely convinced. They must have known we'd been mounting these on spaceships. Why are they so goddamn finicky? Hang on. Let me see what other people are saying about it. Let's see. Discussions. You're at about a... Tell you what there, arm boy. You're at about a 47-degree angle there. Why don't you... snap to that and hold it. Yeah, that's looking a lot better and a lot less finicky. Now the ship can focus on what's truly important, which is getting this thing docked. With about a metric ton of rocket engine. Seriously, we're still looking at about 50 drive cones here. 51 drive cones. I forgot the Rhino. It's a big engine. I'm not just talking about this part either. I'm talking about the thing that carried it up here. It's gonna be fun designing a tanker. Alright, careful. We might run out of mono here. Never mind, we got plenty of mono. Anyway, let's see here. We got KSP DLC is snake oil. Okay. Overpriced mods. Yeah, but I got it for free, so shut up. No stock robotic vehicles. Who cares? How do you connect the new DLC modules to your main craft? Well, I mean, what have we been doing this past week? Moving forward. Yeah, how long is this gonna take? Because we might actually run out of that monopropellant stuff. I see the servos are in the right place now, at least. This is as slow as we need to go, by the way. We do space station docking faster than this, but this is extremely heavy stuff. And I have no idea how it's gonna work out. The engine is heavier than the ship, though. So the magnet will just pull it in once we get close enough. It is a big magnet. The engine might be as big as the ship itself. Like, height-wise. Mass-wise, it is 80% of the vessel. Jesus Christ. This might work. Or then again, we might as well just send a goddamn rocket straight to Duna with this thing. Alright, I cut out another boring bit, because I can tell you guys are losing interest in this massively. So, I cut to, pretty much, that's my bowl. I cut to pretty much, final approach here. Just slide it right on into that docking port. And we'll get everything hooked up. Everything hooked up to the ship. Hopefully. Easy, easy, easy. Just slide it right on in there. Alright. Easy. Yep, we have attachment. Yep, there it goes. Okay. We have attachment, and all the weight is over here. This is, right now, this is the largest solid object in orbit. I'm gonna F5 that immediately. Oh my god. Okay, what we're gonna do now is we're gonna time accelerate over to the light side of Kerbin before we move forward with everything else we need to move forward with. That's unsettling looking, isn't it? All the fuel tanks are coming loose. Alright. Easy now. Do it ×5, then slow into ×1. Ooh. Ooh. Okay. We're starting with the central tank. Just dump everything from the main tank into the central tank. We're going from central tank to central tank, and then we'll take all the fuel out of the side tanks. See how far we get there. Well, weight distribution is dictating that a lot of the weight is now up here. So that's a start. I'm also thinking this is the largest object we've ever deorbited. And we thought the last thing was the largest object ever deorbited. We were wrong. I hit the wrong button. Started burning the engine a little bit. Transfer the fuel in. The central tank is going to be full, which basically means we only have to fill the other 4 tanks. These tanks up top, too, they don't need to be filled because they launched full. I mean, we launched some of the tanks full. No, like, we had Delta V to spare getting up here, so... We're still running on, but we still have boosters. Those 4 were supposed to fall the hell off. Any day, any day, any day. Alright, that's the oxidizer, and that's the liquid fuel. Alright, next. I'm thinking I should skip this for you guys. In fact, I will. Because it's starting to look like this one in particular is going to take a while. Alright, I'm pulling fuel out of all of these fuel tanks, and I'm putting them in these 3 central tanks. It's not enough to get us to another planet, but it is enough for if we need to maneuver in any way whatsoever. It'll also allow us to fire up 15 of our 25 engines if we need to. Again, it's only if we need to. And dump some fuel in there. And that's it. Just empty it out. This thing is basically our first tanker at this point. Alright, so now take this one, dump it in there. It's not going to unbalance it by a hell of a lot. Actually, it's not going to imbalance it at all because it emptied both tanks. The thirsty fucking thing. Alright, some of this I need to get back, so... Okay, now, we're going to take this S3 14400 tank, and we're going to dump everything that we have in that tank into this tank, so that we could deorbit the lifter and not have to worry about it. And hopefully we do have enough Delta V to deorbit. Oh my god, that's really good. And the good news is these things are absolutely chock full of monopropellant. Actually, I shouldn't have stopped that. Hang on. The tanks at the top there are chock full of monopropellant. So that'll bring our monopropellant reserves to astronomical amounts. Like, why would you ever need this much? We probably won't, but we're bringing it. I'm eating too much right now, sorry. Anyway, there's our fuel. It's only at the bottom part, though, so let's dump everything else in the second tank. Because all of the fuel is going to go into that central tank. The asparagus staging dictates such. Alright, so now go ahead and... Oh boy, here we go. The lifter is now on its own. Okay, thank God. We won't have to go too far in order to get us retrograde. Please take the shroud with us. Thank you. Thank you. You're a godsend. Alright, so. In terms of Delta V, we have very, very, very little. We are, however, in extremely low orbit. Alright, let's get the damn thing pointed away from our ship. SAS disengaged, the battery just ran out. You know what? I've been working my goddamn ass off for this thing. We could just get a tiny bit of electric charge. What if we time accelerate until we have electricity? What if we just terminate the flight? Alright. See if we can catch the tiniest bit of sunlight on those forward panels. Get rid of this, please. Yeah, this is the one problem we have now. The good news is, though, we're aiming retrograde. And eventually it will run out of monopropellant. Can we spin it, at least? A little bit? What exactly are these blocked by? A giant-ass fuel tank. Okay, you know what? I'm permitted one veto. I'm using it now. Alt F12. Sheets. Infinite electricity. This is my one veto. I get to use it. An infinite propellant! Amos! Completely retrograde. By the way, what I mean by veto is I am permitted to use these cheats once. This is that one time. One time every year. Unless I'm making one video a year, in which case it's null. And it can't be for anything major, like getting people home or saving a life. Unless it's Jofke, then I am permitted to do that. If it's deorbiting something like this, screw it. Just screw it. 'Cause... just, like... I couldn't care less. It's a booster! Push comes to shove, I was just gonna go into the tracking station and abort the flight, which would have completely erased it anyway. But I need a deorbit to end this goddamn video. Give this thing a nice bit of a spin, too. Oh, keep spinning. This is awesome. I order you to keep spinning. It's an extremely steep descent angle. Extremely steep. I don't know why we're on about the steep descent angles recently. But we are. Yeah, burn those engines up. We don't need those anymore. Burn them up or I'll feel bad about them splashing into the ocean. Actually, I don't think we need to worry about that. At this point, it's basically like hitting concrete, and god damn it, it's coming in fast. Holy shit. That's gonna be bad. Oh! That was so bad we broke the planet. The camera is down below the water surface. Holy crap. Okay. Fastest re-entry speed on any object ever. That clocked in at just under 1 kilometer a second. Oh, that was a glorious deorbit. Oh, man. It's not gonna get any better than that. Anyway, that'll do it for Kerbal Space Program this week, ladies and gentlemen. Next week, we are going to be strutting the pieces together up on the ship. Wait a minute. That's right. New engine. New name. Okay, it finally loaded. Jesus Christ. You take your time on that, I guess. Alright. All the weight is down the bottom of the ship. All the weight is down the bottom of the ship. The ship that has been named Outlaw Star. We can't call it Outlaw Star anymore. Its new name is Pegasus.